Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today is one most of you are already familiar with. He's been called a revolutionary, a dictator, a herald of the new age of peace, and a harbinger of the end times. Please join me in welcoming Chris Beaunest.
Thank you for having me on. Big fan of the show.
That's surprising considering your politics.
Well, compartmentalization, I guess.
You are Canada's newest Prime Minister,
Yes.
and you are also the first ever to run as an independent.
Yes.
What do you think it means for Canada that someone with no political experience managed to reach the status you have achieved and is now leading one of the foremost nations in the world?
Well, Canada is the people. And so all that means is that I managed to connect with the people on a higher level than the other parties, I guess. And what I would say that means is that the people are angry. Really angry. And they wanted change. They saw that I could provide it, so here I am.
You say Canada is the people. Do you mean all people?
Yes. And also no.
How do you mean?
Well, there's the 99%, and then there's this one little percent that, as of recently, has had, we'll call it a disproportionate influence or pressure on the way the rest of us live our lives. So the people that I am interested in representing, am interested in fighting for, are that 99%.
And who is that 1%?
The 1%. The ultra rich, the uber wealthy, whichever way you want to put it.
Let's talk about the platform you ran on.
Okay.
You were very open about how you're not a traditional candidate, that you do not have any backing, and that you're going at it on your own.
That is correct.
And a lot of your traction in your campaign came from word of mouth and from your viral YouTube videos you posted.
Yes, that is correct.
We actually have one of them here that we're able to share.
Hi, my name is Chris Beaunest, and I'm running as an independent for Prime Minister of Canada. I have no political experience and no backing, politically or financially, but what I do have are these facts. The net worth of Canada is equal to $19 trillion. Over 2/3 of this net worth can be attributed to the top 20% of Canadians, who average $3.4 million per household, with the bottom 40% accounting for 3% of this net worth, at an average of $70,000 per household. The average household of the bottom 40% is equal to about 2% of a household in the top 20. Additionally, the combined net worth of the 10 richest Canadians is equal to approximately $261 billion. $261 billion. For reference, the entire net worth of the Canadian government is equal to approximately $989 billion. 10 Canadians have enough money and power to equal a quarter of the entire Canadian government. If elected, I would do something about this. I would change this. And I am the only candidate who would. So vote for Chris, vote for me, and vote for you.
How do you feel now, looking back on that video?
It was a long time ago. Now, I suppose. When I made them, I didn't really expect them to go anywhere. It was just, I was angry, like the people are now. And I guess they got picked up. It's kind of funny looking back on it. I never really expected to be able to carry out these promises, to keep my promises that I made, but
you did.
yes, I did.
And how do you feel now about how you kept those promises?
It's a tough question to answer.
Just a light pop in. Sorry, folks, there's just a light popping up ahead, and sorry to intern Charlie, who will be blamed for it. So, from a combination of strong online presence, word of mouth, and passionate campaigning, you managed to get yourself a spot in the leaders' debate.
I suppose so.
And in this debate, your passionate debating struck a chord with the hearts of Canadian voters, leading to your surprising election and last month, your inauguration.
Yes, still a surprise to me too.
And this gave you the power now to keep the promises you originally made.
That is correct.
So let's talk about how you kept those promises.
Okay.
The night after your inauguration, what happened?
Well, the night after I was elected, as soon as I had the power to, I sent military officers, about 20 each, to the houses of the 10 richest men in the country. They entered these houses, broke in, if you want to put it that way. Whatever staff was there was told to leave. They rounded up the families and the rich men themselves, and they were instructed to say their goodbyes, given about 10 minutes, give or take. And once these families had said their goodbyes, they were taken outside. The officer, the one in charge, he'd hold a gun to the rich man's head. And he'd say, you either donate half or you don't. And half of what? The contracts are different for each person. I won't get into the details of liquid assets. They're money. They're net worth half. They must donate to the government of Canada or they don't.
How many of those men signed the contracts?
9.
And the one that didn't?
He passed away.
And how much money did Canada make from this?
$130 billion,
From extortion.
if you want to call it that.
And where did this money go?
Where it was needed most. Education, healthcare, fighting the decline of the Canadian dollar.
A significant portion of it also went to the military.
Yes,
And was it needed there as well?
it was for services rendered, you could say.
A bribe then, to get them to do your dirty work.
Call it whatever you want. That money, it saved us, okay? Some economists say it was critical to our future success.
I wasn't aware Canada's in such a dire financial spot.
Maybe not immediately, not instantly, but 20 years down the line, this inequality that we're talking about, the imbalance, it's going to be felt everywhere.
The contracts these 10 or 9 men signed, it was under duress, obviously, with guns pointed at their heads. If they chose to fight it in court, there's no doubt that they would win, and all the money that has come in to fund Canada's new infrastructure will be gone.
They won't sue.
There is obvious legal convention in play. There's a precedent set about this.
I disagree. They will not sue.
How can you be so sure?
No. When you get that close, as close as they came, you don't come back from that. Most of them have already fled Canada, even went to safe havens, countries like yours. And if you think $130 billion is a lot, that's still what they have between them. Don't worry for their sakes. They'll be just fine.
You know, I have never seen a world leader so blatantly and unashamedly talk about the extortion and threats they've used on their citizens, the citizens that you were elected to protect. We all know these men have money, but you seem to be saying that because of that, they have somehow forsaken their human rights, that they are now less than human.
Yes, I am.
How can you even begin to justify that?
Look, just think about it like this. remember a children's story you have, a dragon sitting on its hoard of wealth, there for nothing more than to just sit on it, and night comes along, a brave knight.
And you're the knight in this story.
If you want to call me that. You see, in these stories, they have this dragon and his big glittering hoard of gold, and along comes the brave knight. He slays the dragon, and he takes the hoard back to the townspeople, the people that need it. He distributes it, and everybody celebrates, right? And I know it sounds stupid, and sure, it's stupid. It's simple. It is so simple that this is the moral we teach our children from day one when they're just little and barely understand it. And they do, and they grow up and they teach it to their children. And it's like, just as a society, we've unlearned everything that we once knew. It's insane. It is insane, isn't it?
And thus said the brave knight.
Look, I know on some level it's easy to laugh at, it's easy to dismiss, but you know on some level, on some maybe subconscious level, a part of you that you maybe don't even like, it knows that I'm right. It knows that we needed some form of tangible change.
No, Chris, I don't. I don't. I don't believe in any of that. I believe in our systems. I believe in the government support.
You can't possibly continue to believe in a system that year after year promises that things will get
Chris,
better. That this time, it's just a
making
platitude, all right?
my point.
You
If you
can't
allow me to
seriously,
continue
you cannot seriously
with my
assume. You cannot think that every single year somebody comes up here, somebody in my position comes up back with all the financial backers. They come up and they speak in front of everybody and they swear every single time that they will have your best interest at heart. They will make a change for the better. This country it'll be excellent. It'll be great. And what I have done is something that none of the people before me have had the courage to. I have stood up, and I have done what is right and what needed to be done. It's not pretty, you don't like it, but it is what it is.
Chris, before any other questions, I have to ask, how do you sleep at night?
Poorly. I have made enemies all around the world in the most powerful demographic that there really is. Because as long as I'm alive, as long as I have power, I stand as a threat to them and their fortunes. So, although that's where I want to be, there's a trade-off, and that is an extremely short life expectancy. I suspect some day or night soon, I will be assassinated, or at least very close attempt will come on my life. So, what that means is that when I sleep, I do it in a bunker, a secret bunker that not even my family can know about, a family that I have not seen in months. I'm surrounded by heavily armed guards with countless locked doors to the outside. So no, Mr. Cedarbrae, I do not sleep well at night.
Moving on, we...
Now? You wanna come now, huh? Sending little hired killers to take out old Chris live on air. Well, come on then. Come get me. I'm not going down easy. I'm not. He's not going down easy, so come on. Come on.
Power outage, Chris. Just a damn power outage, everyone. I think that's enough excitement for tonight. Chris Beaunest, everyone.